If you don't know me already, I'm James Whitelaw. I've been animating for 6 years now. My story is a bit longer than that. I was animating 28 years ago in 3D with 3D Max, but for a couple of years. But ever since then, I've been doing mostly illustration work, and that is on a freelance basis. So I've been a freelancer for the past 28 years. The animation side, I came back to it about 6 years ago, around about COVID, just before COVID, got back into animation. I'm doing mainly 2D animation these days. I have played with Blender. I'm using Blender a bit in my movie, but I did it backwards. I started with 3D and I've come back to 2D. Anyway, what I wanted to chat about this week was actually making money in animation. If you are a small guy like me out there, and when I say small, I mean small in a, you're not working for a studio, you're basically freelance, or you are just one person, a one man band like I am, then you also need to look at how to make money or monetize your work. I make most of my money on the illustration side, freelancing, but I also make some money out of animation. So let me just cover the avenues that I make money from and are perhaps open to you. Firstly, with YouTube monetization, AdSense is a way to make money. It's not great, it's very low. I am barely at the point of qualifying for AdSense, mainly because of volume. You have to have your 4,000 hours. So once I've crossed that threshold, I'll be getting a little income from YouTube, but I've already calculated it. It's nothing you can really, it's bare money, as I would say. So AdSense or money from YouTube is definitely a channel, a way to make money, but don't bank on it. I've built out 3 courses. I'll be building out more courses. That's where I make the majority of my money from animation, is through my courses. As I go on, I'll build out a whole lot more, and hopefully the income will increase over time with the traffic, etc. So that's my main source of income from the animation side. And then the other way I make money is through commissions. I've got a commission currently, and I'm covering that in some videos. I'm making a series of videos on this specific commission, but I can get a commission maybe every year. Some of them are very small. This one's quite a nice one, and that's definitely an avenue to look at if you're wanting to make money from animation. In fact, that's probably the best way to make money because it's immediate and the money can be very good. However, I will say, and I'm going to make a totally separate video that will go in the series that I'm making on this particular commission. When you're quoting for animation work, listen very carefully to this, because this is something that I found out over time. When you're quoting, if you've ever built a house, builders or people who build their own houses will tell you this. The professionals won't, because they know this and they can work it out. But when you're a bit of an amateur at building a house, you'll always underestimate 2 things: how long it's going to take and how much it's going to cost. And animation is exactly the same. So when you're quoting for work, you always tend to underestimate how long it's going to cost. And that is directly in proportion to how long it's going to take, not how long it's going to cost, how long it's going to take, which is in 1-to-1 proportion on cost, because your only cost in animation, or when you're quoting, is the time it's going to take. So I'll make a separate video on this, but when you're doing freelance, or when you're quoting, or when you're doing corporate work or client work, always look, we tend to undervalue our time and our skills, etc. But we also very much underestimate, generally, I'm maybe not everybody, but I'm a case in point, underestimate the time it's going to take. So as I say, I'll make a totally separate video about this and dig deep into it. So that's another way you can make money from animation. And then 1, 2, 3, fourthly, I think we're on fourth, you can get funding. Now we've got funding in this country. Canada's got a lot of funding. France, Japan. There's various countries around the world. Where you are. I nearly said where you at, which is the American way of speaking. Where you are will be define whether you can get funding or not. We do have funding. Every year I apply for funding. Well, I've only started last year, to be honest. I'm applying again now. I'm very hopeful I'll get some. It's it's a very time-consuming thing to do. There's a lot of hoops you got to jump through. I had to register a company separately, etc. And there's a lot of paperwork that you got to put through. A lot of work goes into just the funding application process. But it is possible to get funding. Obviously, I'm hopeful I'll get some this year, but I can't bank on it. So that's another way to monetize animation. If you're working on a project or you're looking to create a project, if there is funding in your country, and it's not even specific to your country, you can reach out, and there are international avenues to take as well. I've done a little bit of digging. I've been contacted by guys in the States that have tried to help me and say, have you looked at this and looked at that? It's the same thing. There's lots and lots of hoops to jump through. So whatever you do with funding, it's a little bit like starting a business and applying to the bank for funding. There's a lot of hoops and a lot of stuff you got to get through, but it is an avenue. Then I would say finally, there's probably more avenues to make money out of animation, but there's a very small chance you might actually sell your product, your film or your series. Very small chance. When you start out, you think, okay, I'm going to make something and I'm going to sell it and it's going to be wonderful. But reality, I've been doing this for 6 years now, and reality is it's very, very hard to sell your ideas. Ideas are 10 a penny. The whole pitching process to actually sell your product, I don't want to say it's impossible. It's just, sorry, I'm just checking my time out, 8 minutes. I don't want to keep you guys too long. It's not impossible to sell your product, but the method is quite a long, involved method, and it usually entails pitching at markets, at film markets. So you really want to have your pitch Bible ready and everything ready to go, so that you can actually pitch at these markets. That's one way to do it. Most places don't like to be cold pitched. If you're reaching out on email or whatever, it's like the book publishing industry. You need an agent really to work through, because they don't take pitches from guys like me, people on the street, so to say. So that is an avenue that you can actually monetize your animation through, but it's as competitive as anything else in this life. You really have to have a good product, and you can sell it. It's not impossible, but it's very, very difficult to do. So that's another avenue. And then I guess following on from that, and following on from building a brand or whatever, I guess there are other ways you can monetize your work. You can sell merchandise. You can sell original artwork. Somebody like Aaron Blaze. Somebody like Aaron Blaze often sells his original drawings or whatever. I'd love to own some of that. It's you buying something quite rare, i.e. it's handmade. So that's another avenue you can look at. And even if you don't have a film or a product or whatever, you could probably monetize and quite easily, but there has to be a reason why people want your stuff. So everybody knows, not everybody, but there's millions of fans of Aaron Blaze, for example, and so his crowd that he's pitching to is quite large. So it's quite easy for him to sell into that, because there's a mass of people who clamor for his stuff. Little guys like me, we're not so famous and we're not so good. So There's got to be a reason. But again, don't undersell yourself. You can niche down to, you can find a niche somewhere. I actually want to do a bit of physical work as well. When I say physical, actually hand-drawn stuff. It probably isn't technically animation, in fact it won't be. But things like backgrounds and stuff, actually do it physically with ink and paint and etc. And I might start opening up a line of that to sell, you know, on Etsy or whatever, online, Gumroad. Yeah, I'm just struggling to, there probably are some more ways to monetize, make money from animation, but like I said, the main ones are, if you've got a channel, YouTube, it'll be AdSense, and then AdSense is very small, unless you get huge numbers, and even then it's relatively small, so don't ever bank on that. But what you can, again, the main way to, the easiest way, and it isn't easy, but the easiest way is to actually leverage off your following on YouTube, or it might be Instagram, TikTok, whatever, and either sell a product or sell something like a course, or something from you know, to your audience. That's by far the easiest way to monetize this. The others are, you know, that will take a lot of time and that will take a lot of effort. Trust me, making courses is not easy. But making films as well, animating a film is not easy. And then pitching, you know, to sell your concept and whatever, and getting funding. None of this is easy. Animation is not easy, guys. So if you're looking for an easy way out, this is not the way to go. It's very difficult to actually make money in animation as a small guy like me. So I'm not trying to put you off. I'm just trying to tell you the hard truth. It is tough, but it is possible. But you really got to work it. It doesn't come easily, and yeah, it's possible. It's hard, but like anything that's worthwhile, it is difficult, and you need to work really hard at it. Anyway, guys, once again, I hope this is plugged in. So we've got some decent audio this time. I really need to get a better mic, generally something I can clip on my collar here. But thanks once again for dropping in and listening to me. I hope I didn't waffle too much, and hopefully I'll see you around here again soon. Keep on animating out there, and I'll say cheers. Bye.